Hey, what's up, guys? Today, I'll show you a supernatural slasher film named Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a blonde lady taking a naked bath to clean her dirty body at Camp Crystal Lake, indicating that there should be some peeping Tom or psycho killer stalking her nearby. Sure enough, while the blonde lady is bathing shamelessly, the monstrous killer, Jason Voorhees, appears with a knife to flex his monstrous figure. The lady wraps her dirty body in a towel and starts running for her blonde life as fast as she can, like a chicken riding a Tesla bike. As always, Jason follows her patiently, neither too fast nor too slow. However, when Jason reaches a clearing in the woods, the scene suddenly changes. Bright lights shine, and a group of soldiers armed with weapons appear, firing at Jason. Jason is hit with bullets of various calibers, and then blown to pieces by a bomb. It turns out that this was all a trap set by the FBI, and the blonde lady was the naked bait to lure Jason in. As the FBI agents celebrate their victory, a mysterious man standing in the distance mutters to himself that it's not over yet. Later, the pieces of Jason's body are sent to the morgue for examination. During the autopsy, the coroner discovers that Jason's heart is still beating. Suddenly, the coroner feels an urge to devour the heart rather than his smelly part, so he grabs it and starts to gnaw on it. After finishing, the coroner is possessed by Jason's upper body. The next day, news reports reveal that a murder occurred in the morgue. After obtaining a new body, Jason kills 2 guards and a coroner before disappearing. A television station interviews the mysterious man from earlier, who is revealed to be a bounty hunter. He has captured 6 serial killers in the past, and bluntly states that Jason is not dead, and he knows how to kill Jason for good. However, he demands a $500,000 bounty to take on the job. The television station agrees to his terms. After taking the mission, Bounty Hunter goes to a fast food restaurant and asks for help from a waitress named Diana, but she refuses. Diana's boyfriend, a police chief, confronts Bounty Hunter and ends up getting the worst end of the encounter. The police chief arrests Bounty Hunter and takes him to the police station. As he's leaving, Bounty Hunter warns Diana that running away won't solve anything. After Bounty Hunter is taken away, Diana becomes uneasy. She calls her son-in-law Steven and asks him to meet her at her house at 11 p.m. to tell him something important. That night, Steven drives to his mother-in-law's house. On the way, he encounters 3 young people who want to hitchhike to Camp Crystal Lake for a camping trip. Kind-hearted Steven gives them a ride to the campsite. One of the girls thinks he's a nice guy and invites him to join them for some hormone fun. However, Steven declines the invitation as he has an appointment with his mother-in-law. This decision ends up saving his life because Jason has quietly returned to Camp Crystal Lake. Not long after parting ways, the girl is killed in the woods, and another young couple researching hormone yoga in their tent are stalked and killed by Jason through the tent. Jason then goes to the restaurant where Diana works. He first helps a lady by closing her car door, crushing her to death with it. He then brings the lady's police officer companion to the Voorhees family's old house and takes over his body by sliding his juicy tongue into his body. After finishing work, Diana is on the phone with her daughter when the possessed police officer suddenly appears and forcefully hangs up the call. Diana sees Jason's true form in the mirror and immediately understands what's happening. During the struggle, she grabs a handgun from a drawer and shoots Jason's head, but he doesn't die. Instead, he pins her down and attempts to possess her using his long tongue again. Fortunately, Steven arrives just in time at his mother-in-law's house to tackle Jason. Jason pulls out a weapon and throws it, intending to kill Steven, but accidentally kills Diana instead. While Jason is distracted, Steven impales him, causing Jason to fall out of the window and disappear into thin air. The police chief arrives too late to see Jason, and poor Steven is arrested as the prime suspect in his mother-in-law's murder. At the police station, Steven sees his ex-wife, Jessica, and their daughter, as well as Jessica's new boyfriend, the exact television reporter who had interviewed Bounty Hunter earlier. Steven is actually Diana's former son-in-law because he and Jessica broke up for unknown reasons. Despite Jessica being pregnant with his child, the family is prejudiced against him, except for Diana. Jessica leaves her daughter with her mother's friend, who works at the same fast food restaurant, while she and the reporter go to handle her mother's affairs. On the other hand, Steven is locked in a cell next to Bounty Hunter. After listening to Steven's story, Bounty Hunter immediately concludes that Jason had possessed the officer and killed Diana. Bounty Hunter decides to test Steven's courage by dislocating 3 of his fingers. Satisfied, Bounty Hunter shares information about Jason. Apparently, Jason is originally a parasitic-like creature that can inhabit other people's bodies, even if his own is destroyed. However, ordinary people's bodies can't withstand the possession for long. For Jason to be perfectly reborn, he must inhabit a member of his bloodline. But it turns out that the relatives of his same bloodline are also the only ones who can permanently kill Jason. Jason targeted Diana because she was Jason's bloodline sister. Now that Diana is dead, Jessica is the only threat to Jason, and Steven and Jessica's daughter is the perfect vessel for Jason's rebirth. After the revelation, Bounty Hunter urges Steven to find a way to escape the police station and search for clues at the old Voorhees house where Jason's family lived. For the safety of his wife and daughter, Steven accepts Bounty Hunter's advice. He pretends to be injured, then seizes the opportunity to steal the officer's gun and escape. Desperate to see his daughter, Steven sneaks into the fast food restaurant where she is staying. He's spotted by the owner's son, but because they already know each other, the boy keeps quiet and lends Steven his car. Using the car, Steven rushes to the Voorhees house, searching for clues but finding nothing in the end. Just as he's about to give up, he hears someone enter and quickly hides. To his surprise, it's Jessica's new boyfriend, the reporter. Eavesdropping on his phone call, Steven is shocked to learn that the reporter's relationship with Jessica is just a ploy to get close to her for a big news story. In fact, the reporter plans to make a show about the Voorhees family, having lied to Jessica and even stolen Diana's body to hide it in the old house. Steven is furious, especially when he hears the reporter bragging about his excellent hormone night with Jessica. Just as he's about to confront the reporter, the possessed police officer shows up, pins down the reporter, and forces a tongue massage on him to transfer Jason's possession. The officer's body quickly melts away like a popsicle, and Jason, now in the reporter's body, heads straight for Jessica. Steven arrives just in time to knock out Jason and carry Jessica to his car, running over Jason's body in the process. They drive away, but eventually, Steven stops to explain everything to Jessica. However, she doesn't believe his smelly bullshit. She hits him, kicks him out of the car, and drives to report to the police. The sheriff hears about it and sends officers to capture Steven. Meanwhile, the possessed reporter bursts into the police station and starts a killing spree. Luckily, Steven arrives just in time to save Jessica by shooting Jason several times. Bounty Hunter also escapes from prison amidst the chaos. Steven and Bounty Hunter temporarily stop Jason and rush to the fast food restaurant to find their daughter. The owner, not knowing the whole story, refuses to hand the child over to them. In the middle of the argument, Jason arrives, killing the owner's son, and then giving the owner a gruesome facial surgery with a frying pan. The waitress manages to stab Jason with a steel rod, but she's killed in the process. After the brutal battle, only Steven and Jessica are left alive. Jessica, however, abandons Steven and drives away. In the restaurant, Steven learns from a discarded note that Bounty Hunter has taken their daughter and wants Jessica to meet him alone at the old Voorhees house. Shortly after they leave, a police officer arrives at the fast food restaurant only to be possessed by the awakening Jason. Soon after, Jessica arrives alone at the old house, where Bounty Hunter returns her daughter to her. He hands her a dagger he found in the house and tells her that if someone from the Voorhees bloodline stabs Jason in the heart with it, he will be sent to hell and never resurrect. Concerned for her daughter's safety, Jessica decides to stay and help Bounty Hunter fight Jason. However, before Jason arrives, Bounty Hunter accidentally triggers a trap in the house and falls into the basement. At that moment, the police chief and another officer arrive, but Jessica can't tell who is possessed by Jason and doesn't know what to do. In the confusion, she accidentally kills the police chief, and the dagger falls under a cabinet. Jason is now possessing the officer. He sees this as a great chance to resurrect himself, using his own granddaughter's body. Fortunately, Steven arrives just in time to knock Jason down. With no other choice, Jason releases his essence from the possessed officer's body, but Steven takes it and throws it into the basement. Steven and Jessica rescue Bounty Hunter from the basement, but Jason finds Diana's body and resurrects himself, returning with his iconic mask. Steven and Jessica scramble to find the lost dagger, while Bounty Hunter bravely handcuffs himself to Jason to buy them some time. Jason kills Bounty Hunter with a romantic but deadly embrace. To protect his family, Steven tackles Jason out of a window and fights him. Thanks to Steven's efforts, Jessica retrieves the dagger and stabs it into Jason's chest. They both attack in succession, driving the dagger deeper into his body, and the gates of hell open up. Countless monsters from the depths drag Jason down, finally sending the immortal killer to his rightful place and ending the nightmare. As the two embrace a new life in the light of the rising sun, the movie ends with Jason's mask, left behind in the human world, being dragged into hell by a clawed monster. This creature is none other than the notorious nightmare killer Freddy Krueger, which sets the stage for the Jason vs. Freddy movie that would come 10 years later. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.